And I gotta say, as a bachelor, I feel like you're almost set up to fail.
Not always.
I mean, it's like, it's like a recipe for disaster.
A lot of people gave Peter a lot of hate this season and said, a lot of people said that he was the worst bachelor of all time. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's hard to comment on it because, people commented on our season, but if you're not there and not like in the situation, it's really hard to place blame or to cast judgment, I would say.
Yeah, and there's so much that you don't see that goes into it. So even if he looks like the worst bachelor, he probably wasn't as bad as he seems. There's probably things that happened that caused him to do those things that you didn't see.
And I gotta say, as a bachelor, I feel like you're almost set up to fail.
Not always.
I mean, it's like, it's like a recipe for disaster, So it's like if there is a normal, happy ending, like a Sean Lowe, Catherine ending, you're almost like surprised. You're just like, oh,
Well, that never happens anymore.
I know it never happens anymore because it's such a high, tense, like, it's just such a difficult situation to be in. So it's really hard to pass judgment, especially for me.
Yeah.
Right. And I know I said that a little bit this season too, as a viewer, it seems like they're always trying to one up themselves with the ending of the show. Like it always has to be more dramatic. And I'm like, I just want a happy ending at this point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So do we.
I feel like that is the call with Claire. I feel like they are like, she really wants to be in a relationship. She really wants to be engaged. I don't feel like she's seeking anything from being a lead. So I feel like that was the call to have her be the lead, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We'll see. You never know. We won't know until we see it. But
do you feel like you were set up to fail in a way? I mean, you kind of said that before, but do you feel like you were set up to fail?
No, I wouldn't say me personally. I just feel like the show in itself is it's just really hard because obviously you get to a point as a bachelor where you're used to dating multiple women that is not normal. Yeah. And then towards the end, it's really, I just feel like it's sort of a cruel process to where you have to break up with someone and then get engaged to somebody else. It's like, if you really could separate your feelings throughout the whole show, which starts happening as the bachelor in the beginning, it's very odd. But as you go through the whole show, you start separating your feelings between one person and another person. And then it gets down to the end. I feel like the structure itself lends to just a traumatic ending almost 95% of the time, for me at least. That's how I view it. So I feel like if they structure it just a little bit differently, it could lead to a better success rate.
I'm trying to be kind of careful about how I say this. But I think the timing of the dates definitely lends itself to being less or more dramatic, depending on the concerns of particular contestants. Does that make sense? It's kind of like, I don't know what to say about that. How can I say that in a good way?
I will say they place dates in certain orders to create some drama and to create conflict, because the conflict is what makes a show interesting for a lot of people. And so, they're not really thinking about the bachelor's heart or the contestant's heart. They're really, a lot of times I feel like they can be thinking about what will make the best TV, because it's a TV show.
Right.
So that is sort of how I feel about it. Do I regret going on the show? No. I mean, look at us. It was the best thing to happen in my life. So I have a love, and I have a love-hate with the Bachelor franchise, but ultimately I love them because this is obviously...
Yeah, none of this would have happened.
None of this would have happened, and we're so thankful for them. We just, looking back on it, I kind of, I was a little bit naive, and I think that most people are when they go on that show.
Of course. Have you guys talked about how you're going to explain it to Alessi when she's a little bit older?
Oh my God. No.
Not at all.
Maybe.
I kind of feel like she'll probably hear about it from kids at school. And then we'll have to explain. And
I feel like The Bachelor is going to be around
when
she's in her 20s still. I have a feeling that this show is never going away. So dang good,
Do you have advice for Peter, now that he's with Kelly from his season, and they've gotten a lot of backlash? Do you have any advice for people getting back? Because I know that you guys obviously experience that as well, like all Bachelor couples do at the end of their season. So do you have any advice for them? Do you kind of ignore the haters?
For us, I think it was definitely a different time. So if we just went and traveled the world and got away from it,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's kind of hard because they can't travel right now. But
Yeah.
I mean, just try and do something to distract yourselves from it. Don't read all the comments, and it'll go away eventually. Everyone forgets when something else happens that's more dramatic.
Yeah, I would just say, you know, just concentrate on each other. We have this mentality of sort of us against everybody. And I feel like they're probably adapting that as well. So it's just, you know, concentrate on your relationship and everything else will fall into place. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be.
Yeah. I mean, what would you guys say is the secret to your success?
I like communication.
Yeah. We just talk through everything and we understand each other's different communication styles. So that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. She was a psychology major, so she really understands.
Yeah.
Get to me.
Was it ever really difficult for you guys post-Bachelor life? Because, you know, I've talked to like Rachel and Brian and, you know, and a lot of other people, and they say, you know, sometimes it really, really gets to you when you get back into the real world. And JoJo and Jordan, they said the same thing. When you guys get back into the real world, it's really hard at times. I mean, was it ever really hard for you guys, or did you kind of just, you know, mesh your lives really well together?
Oh, it was definitely hard for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a transition. You know, the Bachelor sort of bubble and real life are two very different things.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn almost, it's, you know, it's just, you just have to figure it out together, I think, for the most part. But I would say the hardest part of our relationship was having Leslie. For me, at least.
I think maybe you blocked that part out because that was pretty hard too.
I know. Well, I just had a lot of explaining to do, and I had to do a lot of talking, and I had to really drive it home that, you know.
Yeah. I think we both just had to be understanding in that period of time because we both dealt with the stresses that, you know, we were dealing with from outside sources differently. So if he wanted to kind of like close up and not talk about it, I had to be understanding of that. And then I'm the opposite, and I wanted to talk about everything. So we kind of like clashed in that way for a little bit, but we just kind of learned how each other deal with things, and it got easier for us.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
we still haven't watched our season's ending.
No.
Which is, you know, we just...
I don't know that we need to.
I don't know that we ever will.
Did you watch your proposal back, like after the final rose? I mean, after the final rose and things like that, did you guys watch that part?
No.
You never watched your proposal back?
We've seen clips on like Instagram and stuff of just our proposal.
Yeah, it's mixed in there with everything else that we don't really want to see. So
yeah, it's just, you know, I think we paved our own way and created our own sort of reality through our happy couple and the time we spent together, that we don't need the TV portion of it, you know, to look back on, because that was sort of traumatic for both of us, really.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was, but I mean, like for you guys to make it through and to kind of prove everybody wrong, I mean, if you guys can make it through that, I think you can make it through anything.
I think you're right.
That's how I see it.
I mean, people have been saying that about quarantine, but if you can make it through what you guys made it through.
Yeah, quarantine is easy.
Right? Seriously.